What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about the new Madden 21 title update that will be getting released within the next couple days. It's going to address a lot of different issues, including the ability points balancing of bench press, certain gameplay improvements, the zone drop feature. I don't know if a lot of you guys use the zone drop feature. I went over it earlier when the game first came out, but pretty much you can set the depths to which your zones drop, and there's been some real technical issues with that. They're going to be addressing that, which is a really good thing. They're going to be making some adjustments to Unstoppable Force and Avalanche, because let's just be honest, a lot of those things don't work. I'm going to be showing you guys a few things though, as well as going over some of the things that I'm expecting that's going to be happening with the gameplay. Now, when you think about some of the abilities, right, a lot of the things that are going on in the game, we still, even though we kind of know what the meta is, other than bench press, there's not a lot of things that have really been getting a lot of acclaim. People don't really understand bench press still to this day. They don't know what it is. I've gone over it several times. You know, pretty much what it does, at one ability point, you're able to take a player, an offensive player, out of the game if you get a successful press. So what does that mean? Abilities like this, right, it's one ability point. And a guy like Deion Sanders, that, like I said, Deion Sanders was a fit, slender dude. Dude's hitting home runs and playing football, but he wasn't a strong guy. You know what I'm saying? Like very, very fast. He could put on the moves and everything like that. This dude right here is pressing tight ends, and my tight ends are going out of the game after the play. So obviously it doesn't make sense. Theoretically, I understand what EA Sports was doing, but it realistically doesn't make any sense at all, because once a player can get it, it doesn't matter how we remember the player. It's about what EA Sports believes. So the ability itself, I don't really care about, an opponent's best wide receiver or tight end or whoever staying in the entire game, because I want your best out there, but I understand what they were trying to do. The issue is, just like everything else, I don't think that it was tested properly. So pretty much we tested, and then a lot of people that don't want to adjust, they rage, and then there comes the patch. Instead of finding a different way to, counteract it or use the other abilities to figure out what's going on, everybody just cries. And then now EA is like, all right, what are we going to do? So let me just go ahead and assess a few things. They're saying that they may increase the ratio of the ability points, which means that you may get more ability points where you can still use bench press, but you got to now take away from other stuff, because they may raise and, decrease some of the other ability points for other things. This is what starts to happen. And it's every year. It's like deja vu. I was just talking to one of my friends. I'm like, yo, it's deja vu with Madden. Because what's going to happen is, whether they nerf it or they tune it and give us ability points, the game won't be the same. So as far as the gameplay improvements that we're going to get, if you're a MUT player, that's probably why you're on this channel. I've already gone away from bench press. Once I heard that EA Sports is looking to fix something, I just went away from it. Because more than likely, it's not going to be anything that you want to be a part of. So I have to make, a judgment call based on what I've already seen and just move along those lines. So because I've already seen what they do, the best thing that I can do is find something else that I believe that may work. So we're going to talk about medium route KO and what it does and why I use that as opposed to using ACROBAT. But again, the ability points are going to get tuned. The abilities like Avalanche, the X Factors, Avalanche, and Unstoppable Force are going to also be getting some tuning. I told you about the coverage improvements. It's going to be zone drop coaching adjustments, cover 4 palms and cover 4. Okay, they're going to address an issue where your outside linebacker in man inappropriately converts to a QB spy. Now, for those of you guys that played Madden 20, that was something that was happening in Madden 20. And then when people say, it's a copy and paste game, I don't really believe it's all copy and paste, because some of the things that were going on in 20, obviously like send 7 and dudes are screaming, that doesn't happen anymore as often. You can still get dudes to scream, but it's not the real like send and 7 type thing. So it's not full copy and paste. It's sort of like they copied a little bit and just put it in the game, because the same things are going on technically with the game. So what I'm trying to make you guys understand is, the reason that I give you guys the raw and uncut and just tell you like, look, this guy sucks, this player's not working, is because I don't want to give false hope. See, false hope is the most dangerous thing in human life. Because if you really believe that EA Sports is going to fix certain things, that's the issue right there. Because the people that they're listening to, or whoever is doing what they're doing, they don't really understand that they're not helping the situation with a lot of the stuff that they do. So they don't test things. All right, that's why when the first patch came out, dudes couldn't catch. And everybody's like, oh, what's going on? it's certain things that go on. I don't know exactly what the depths of it is, but for the last 6 years, I've been, you know, dealing with this, and I don't want to make people feel like, you know, it's going to actually be, you know, where it's supposed to be. But I will tell you this, the smartest thing that EA can do is leave bench press the same exact way it is and just raise the AP. Because that's what they intended it to do. If they nerf it and then also adjust the ability points, it's a failure. It's just an outright failure. Because that's the full intention of bench press, is to fatigue the receiver, and then, you know, obviously the receiver's fatigued, they're going to be out the next play. If they tune it and make it worse and still raise the ability points, that's going to be similar to some of the stuff that they've done in the past, and I think we're going right back down the same rabbit hole. And it's going to be a lot of disgust, but the people that really understand Madden, they're not people that EA Sports listens to. So like I'm saying right now, this is what I would do. If I'm EA Sports, I would leave bench press the same exact way and raise the ability points. Because now you can't have that many on the field. And it's simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just done. Because that's what I believe that it should be. But what I believe they're going to do is they're going to nerf it and also raise the ability points for it. So now what's going to happen is, offensively, you won't need to now get second wind or energizer or anything that counteracts it. It's going to work differently because people complained about it, which is unacceptable. Because if that's what you've already made the game, Marvel Superhero Avengers, leave it the way that it is and make us adjust with abilities and teach the people that are complaining about it how to get better at the game. That would be my assessment of it. So we're going to wait for the title update and see what's going on with that. But I wanted to give you guys my thoughts about it before we go on. Now, I've switched to medium route KO. All right, man-to-man corners get this ability at 1 AP. Gmio, why would you go to medium route KO and leave such a savage thing as bench press alone way before everybody else did? Well, we always have to try to be a step ahead of the game. I'm sure I'm not the first person to use medium route KO. I've spoken to a lot of people inside of the Madden community. They generally don't like it. They don't believe that it does anything. I would prefer to differ right there. I would say it does do something, because I notice that anything where you play somebody with a route technician or whatever they have, these guys get it's sort of like the one step ahead thing. They jump it. Anything medium, you know, between 15 to 20 yards, they're all over it. Anything outside of that, if it's a deep post, you know, you probably won't get burnt unless you have a guy like Deion Sanders who can make a couple plays, right? So for me, I want that coverage because Madden 21 is a man coverage video game, right? They're not going to change that. That's what's ingrained in the game. I keep telling you guys, when you play the original product, that is what EA Sports is fully intending on doing. So they wanted man coverage to be OP, and that's what it's going to be, right? Medium route KO is something that you guys should get used to trying out, at least to figure it out, because to be honest, bench press is going to get you burnt deep for 6. It may work sometimes if you just like send a screamer and everybody gets pressed and then, you know, dudes fly in or they run the ball. Bench press also works when you run the ball. So you could get away with it with that, but you're getting a receiver out for one play, as opposed to having an ability that if you have the decent corner that gets it, they're going to shadow that receiver ridiculously, and it's going to force them to have an ability on their receiver, which makes more sense because now they can't run those same routes, those curls and stuff like that. These guys jump curl routes. So you no longer need the ACROBAT for them to dive around like idiots in clown shows, because the medium route, if they do the curl route, that falls within that whole frame. So now you have another opportunity for your AI controlled defenders to actually make a play, because the medium route, it boosts them as long as they're able to get it. Now the 1 AP is fine because it goes based on archetype. So the zone corners, it would cost them 2 for this, but they would get the zone versions of the same, route KOs, medium route KO and all that kind of stuff. The zone versions of it would be more for the man-to-man corners and less for the zone corners. We are going after the man-to-man corners because, like I said before, man defense is absolutely OP. So those are just some of the things that's going to be happening, coming to MUT very soon, based on the feedback that EA got. Now, I want to let you guys understand, if you choose to experiment with a medium route KO, pay attention to it with the way that they play the receiver off the snap. When you press, if you play over the top, just pay attention to it and see what's going on, and understand why I'm giving you guys different avenues to go, because I just have a feeling that based on all the crying and all the tears that these guys have been complaining about bench press, they're gonna still nerf it and still raise the AP. That's just my gut feeling. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I'm just letting you guys know right now, that's usually the mentality of EA Sports. They want to make the game easier. So they don't want people crying about it. So they'll nerf everything and do weird stuff like that. So as far as that goes, that's the insight into it. As far as the patch and everything goes, I've given you guys the insight about Avalanche. For those of you guys that don't understand Avalanche, pretty much Avalanche is supposed to be able to force hit sticks downhill. It never worked since the release of the game. Fumbles are pretty much non-existent for the most part anyway. It's like random. It happens like, okay, you know, every once in a blue moon. But now they're going to be tuning that along with Unstoppable Force, which is something that I had on LT for a very long time, and I was wondering why it never worked. I guess they just figured it out, but they're going to be tuning that as well. Now, to the good stuff. Kawann Short, when he was a limited or whatever he was, when he was available in packs, EA Sports, you know, finally admitted that it really wasn't in packs, and a lot of you guys are going to be getting some free packs and, you know, as make rights. All right, because like I said, this happened last year several times. I don't know what's going on. What I do though is I wait for, you know, this in-game messaging. Like right now, Amari Cooper and Micah Hyde are in the game. If I go through this and I don't see anybody on the auction block with these cards yet, I begin to rage, and then I understand that something's going on. Kawann Short was a situation where there was none of them anywhere to be found. So EA Sports is like, all right, we're gonna hit you off, you know, with some free things and stuff like that. Realistically though, they should just give everybody something, because many of us were opening different type of packs to get them. So anybody that opened the pack should probably receive it. Do I believe they're going to do it that way? I don't know. But we opened different packs like get a goals, you know, and stuff like that, because they're supposed to be in every single thing. But they are going to be giving out make rights. I'm thinking that they're going to probably be focused on the people that use money to buy packs at the time of the, you know, the time frame that he was not inside of packs. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up with that. So that's pretty much what's going on in the Madden 21 community right now. I will touch base with you guys very soon about my MUT rewards and explain to you guys what we're going to be doing going forward and the overall assessment of what the team is right now. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching, and you go ahead and have an unbelievable and blessed day. Until next time, one love, y'all.